Nope, girl. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We got Chris in the house. We're setting up our camp chairs so we can go outside. But I wanted to give Sierra some lactose-free milk here first. And so she's doing real good today. We actually just went on a little bit of a hike, and Sierra went with us. We walked around the property a little bit, and Sierra was hanging. Chris was riding on the quad, and I was on the electric bike. And then we just got back from checking out some Native American stuff that's in the area here. So we went down and saw some really cool petroglyphs and some really insane rock art. There's some petroglyphs there from the old Prescott period, which is the tribe that broke off from the Hokan language tribes of California that came out here to do all the ruins. And so there's this one piece of rock art that almost looks like a ladder, kind of like. It comes down and then has these bars that go across, but it's super faint. And then you have these other petroglyphs that are right over it. That's like basically somebody tagging it with graffiti. So what I think it was is that, and it's still, a Native American rock art thing. So what I think it was is that with the Prescott culture was here from 200 AD to 1400 AD. And then after that, the Yavapai and Apache took over, and the Apache were really, really prevalent in this area. And so they had rock art that they put over it too. A lot of those representation were like representations of people and animals and like spirals from celestial stuff. And so it's really cool. So Chris got all that on film. And for those that aren't following, his channel is called That Hiking Guy. So I've got it in the description of the video here. Go ahead and give him a sub and check out the footage. When do you think you might have that up once you get back? Because you got it like about a week ago. Yeah. So he'll have it up in about a week. And we went down and hiked down there, and then we went down and saw a ruin as well and found some arrowheads and all that stuff. So, and also some pottery. And it's just impressive the amount of stuff around here, because I was talking to my neighbor and I didn't even realize it, but behind the ridge here, behind my property, there's a huge petroglyph panel on one of our neighbor's parcels, and he allows us to go onto that one to see it. There's like another area where there's petroglyphs, but I guess you have to know that person in order to go out there. And so I don't know those people yet, but I plan on meeting them and see if I can get on. And the cool thing about it is when you're in these areas where there's, hey, everybody, this is Chris, by the way.
What's up?
So Chris and I have been friends for about at least a decade, I think. Yeah. We used to talk all the time, especially before I hit the road back in 2015, but we were probably friends, 3 or 4 years prior to that. Yep. So we've known each other for well over 10 years and always try to connect, every once in a while just to kind of kick it and catch up and all that stuff. So he's a good friend. And it was cool hanging out down there today and seeing that stuff. Cause dude, yeah, it's awesome. Isn't it cool? We were floored that there's some of the pottery pieces there, and we were talking, we're like, this is literally like cement, like how they made these things. And here it is 1,000 years later, and they're still just sitting out there. Yeah. And it's impressive to see that stuff. And, unfortunately with the cattle that are in this area, what you got, Green? Sierra's like really excited. She just keeps on like licking her lips and lunging at us. But, with the cattle in the area, unfortunately, they'll go through and, they'll walk on the ruins. They don't mean to. They're just out there foraging, but they'll step on the pottery, and that's why the pottery gets broken up so small. Chris, unfortunately, has to leave a little bit early for some family stuff, but once back in, a year or two or something, that there's some stuff down here that I could show him, like pottery pieces, this big around. It's got drawings all over it, and, spear tips and axe heads. And there's this one area next to that ruin that I was just showing you on the map. And I'm not kidding. You know how I was telling you I find all these things in the washes? The way that I find ruins, I was explaining to Chris, is that what I would do, and when I was over in Sedona, I kind of inadvertently found a great way to find ruins. And what it was is I would follow Sierra at night after I get done doing my work and measuring the ruins that I knew about in the areas and photo documenting for the group that I'm a part of. I would just take Sierra on these like really mellow walks at night, and the sand in Sedona is like that really, really, really fine sand to where it feels really good on your feet. But you want to make sure that you look where you're watching or walking, because there's like thorns and cactus all over the place. But I started noticing that when I did that and walked real slow through the washes, I would start to see arrowheads. And I'd be like, wow, there's arrowheads. Now there's pottery. Now there's more pottery. And so it became like a breadcrumb trail leading up to some of these areas. And that ruin that I was showing you that was like really insane on the top, that had those things falling off. It was insane to get up there. I stopped off to use the restroom before I even found that ruin. And the reason why I thought there was something there is because when I stopped off to use the restroom, I look on the ground. I'm like, holy cow, there's pottery this big all over the place, like arrowheads all over the place. And they're completed arrowheads. They're not like the ones that were discarded. And so I was telling him, I said, the area where my camper's at up here, it's probably a good 2 or 3 acres. Like it's flat up here on my parcel. That place down there that has it, has those artifacts. You literally can't walk one step without stepping on something. There's so much on the ground. It's just literally covered. It's like it's rocks everywhere. So it's awesome. So we're gonna hit that when you come back.
I didn't think I would be excited about this kind of thing. Always thought, well, that's cool that Brian likes it. When you see it firsthand,
yeah,
it's like, okay, now I want to see more.
Yeah. Well, and like that arrowhead that I was showing you, like this one right here. I don't know if you all ever saw the short that I did on this, but this is an arrowhead that I found on the property here. This is obviously not completed, but you can see what they're doing here. So I love what you're doing. Thank you, Salvador. I appreciate that. I'm having so much fun out here building out this property. It's going to turn out really well. But this is an arrowhead to where there was actually a couple that were being formed. So we've got this where there's obviously the main arrowhead here, super sharp. You can see how it's concaved right here on the front. And then you can see the notch here on the side. Oh, hey, what's up, Danya and Priya? How's it going? Good number. Hi, coffee, buddy. Oh, hey, what's up, Kevin? How you doing, man? Hike with Mike. How's it going, brother?
Oh, hey, Mike.
What's up, Mike? Hey, Camp Goer 1. Hey, everyone. New to your channel. He was like, oh, cool. Whereabouts in Arizona are you? I'm near. I'm kind of near Seligman. So, but I'm out in the country. I'm about 30 minutes away from Seligman. But anyway, back to the arrowheads here. So it's really cool to find this stuff back there. And one thing about arrowheads, just to let you know, it's okay to take arrowheads from public land, not from national monuments or national parks, I don't think, but I think just regular public land, you can take them because President Carter back in the 70s signed an executive agreement basically excluding the arrowheads from it because, the Antiquities Act is there for like the big stuff, but arrowheads are a dime a dozen. And so you can actually take these and take them with you. So it's not a problem. So we found a few today and Chris has got some, so which is awesome. Found some obsidian ones, which are pretty awesome. So, hey, B, Chris and Sierra on a plane to Wisconsin to run oh, you're doing the Ferrari challenge. Congratulations, Danya. That's awesome. I know you had said that you were thinking about it to see if it was the right fit. So she does all the badass stuff like Aston Martin, Ferrari. She does all their events. Yeah. But she's a nomad. She's full-time in her Forerunner. You should see her Forerunner too. She's done a lot of good stuff.
Hey,
yeah. So Chris just got a Forerunner too, Danya. So it's really cool to see this stuff. So I've got a few arrowheads. Most of them are from the property here, like the one that I showed you today with the hunting blind. So I've found probably about a dozen on my own property here, but they've all been small. This was a bigger one that I was really, really pleased to find. So, I mean, think about that thing freaking slamming India there. It's like, boom, like that's crazy. So,
well, this is the one that you said that has the
three. Yeah.
This is the human for humans.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I did was I showed this to some of the people I work with in Sedona. Marla F., thank you so much for that. Treats and hugs. Kisses for real quick, just for those who are just now tuning in. If you want to see a Sierra shot, there she is. What's up, girl? What are you doing, baby pumpkin? Oh, look at that tail going. Oh, here she is. Come here, sweetie. Come here. What are you doing, pumpkin? I just love you.
She just wanted to be more of a star right there.
She loves it. But I want to show you real quick. I was showing this to Chris, and I mentioned this in the short that I did for this. But there are actually 3 arrowheads being made in this one rock here. So if you follow me here, we'll go up on top. You'll see how this one comes down. There's this over here. Obviously, it's not completed, but there's a notch here. And I'm gonna shut these blinds because you can't see.
So there's a notch. There's a notch there.
Yeah.
What he's trying to say is,
so
hurry up and
yeah. So you see how there's this notch that's right here. Well, that would be the notches that they would go ahead and flint map it down and create another notch and then be able to tie into there when they took sinew or whatever and put it up on a reed. Now, if you take this and alter it this way, then and if you cut this off here, what you have is you have another arrowhead. This is super sharp on this side, and it's all been worked. You can actually see it up close, especially here from behind. You can see the flint mapping. So you could have one that comes down here and then this way down here too. But then you have a third, which is right here on this end. Sorry, right here on this end. You see the little tiny notch and how it comes up this way. This has been flint mapped right here, but it hasn't been done. So what you could do essentially is you can make one arrowhead, pop that out, flip it over here, make this arrowhead, pop that out, and then you have this final one, which is right here, coming up this way, and then you pop it out that way. That was a really bad presentation, but that's what it is. So anyway, but I sent this to some of the people in our group that are legit like trained in the field with archaeology, and they're like, yeah, they're like, that's cool to find a 3-for-1. It's you usually find 2-for-1s. If you find any double ones, you never really find 3. So like that's pretty awesome.
That's so cool.
So yeah, and to see like the obsidian out here, like that's not from this area.
Right.
So it's that was brought from a long ways away to check stuff out. So all right, let's see. There's nothing better than finding history check. Yeah, I totally agree, and that's why I love this area. Like I've been talking with Chris all day, telling him about just like the history that I've learned.
I'm blown away by it.
One of the really I've got this book, and it talks about the different ruins out here. And then I joined a historical society for one of the local organizations, and I met the main gal of the society, and I was like, I've been finding the most amazing Native American ruins. She's like, how many have you found so far? I was like, I found 17. She goes, there's 83 more. And I was like, what? She goes, there's 100 hilltop ruins in your area. I'm like, I like literally feel like when she told me that, I'm like, I won the lottery. I didn't even know I bought out here and I won the lottery. That's the number one thing I like to do. Fly fishing is a close second, but all day long, I'd rather just look at ruins. I'd stare at the ground all day long if I could.
I can attest to that because we were out there. Your neck was craned down the whole time.
Yeah, I don't look up at all, and I just sit there and I'm like, what do we find?
Yeah,
I'm like, I know there's this one piece of pottery that I saw here a while back that has drawing that art on it. I want to see it, and I mean, I've got it in my mind cataloged where like if we drive down that historic ranching road, I know where all these ruins are and like pieces of pottery that are just sitting on the side of the road just by memory. Because I love this stuff so much. So I probably won't be going to Sedona much anymore to do a lot of documentation because I can do stuff out here. And the Prescott National Forest Service people are like, we need help out here. We don't have anybody doing any documentation.
Sweet.
So yeah, because Spence, the guy that I've worked with in Sedona, he told me, he's like, hey, Prescott National Forest needs help. That's in your backyard.
So you trying to get some money from that or what?
No, I won't be getting any money from it. But what is nice about it is I've found that when you work with the Forest Service like that, and you start to like help them out with things, then all of a sudden they're like, hey, there's this really kick-ass area where no one goes.
Right.
So that's how I've been able over the years to find all this stuff. Yeah. Like when I was truck camping, what I would do is when I'd roll into an area, I don't know if you remember, but I would volunteer for different groups. When I'd roll in, I'd be like, hey, I'll go pick up trash or whatever. And then always the Forest Service would tell me the places where no one went. Because it'd be like, hey, you're out there helping us so much. Go check out these spots. There's no one ever out there.
Sweet.
So that's a tip to people. Also, too, if you want to stay safe in the backcountry and you're solo, get a Bureau of Land Management shirt or a Forest Service shirt. You can buy them off the internet and wear it when you're back there, and no one will bug you.
Really?
Yeah. And another thing too that I found, if I have people that camp next to me that are total jerks, and like they pull up and I can tell they're going to party like crazy, and I want it to be quiet around there, I'll roll over with my Forest Service shirt on, and I'll be like, hey guys, just wanted to come over and introduce myself. My name's Brian.
My name's Officer Brian.
Yeah, but I'll say, my name's Brian. I'm out here just checking on a few things, and they'll be like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then like 20 minutes later, they're pulling out of camp because they want to go somewhere else because they don't done that before. And I go, any trash, I can take it back out of here when I leave in a couple days, but I'm going to be camping here. So anyway, so Carlson, dude, you got to come out. So you plan a trip again.
Yeah. Let's
plan at least a week because I can go show you the stuff in Sedona too, and it's pretty badass out there. So we could spend like a couple of days out here and then go over there. But there's so much stuff. I was telling Chris that, old school archaeology says, oh, there were kind of some Native Americans around the area, but it was real sparsely populated. That's total crap. This place was packed full of people.
You can tell.
Yeah, with all just that area there with just 2 ruins, and we looked on the ground, and for as far as we could see, there were artifacts. I mean, to see that just sitting out there, and the nice thing is since there's no one around here, no one's gone through and scraped those sites, so they still have artifacts all around. So. Cool. All right, I'm sorry, I've just totally been rambling about this. I haven't checked out any of the comments. So,
no, I've had a great time, dude. You're the best host, I have to say.
Thanks, brother.
You are the best host.
I love this stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as you can tell, I talk a million miles a minute when I start talking about it.
I know we had you on our live stream.
yeah. But I'll show you some. Dude, you go ahead and talk to them. I want to grab some stuff and I'll show it to the team.
That's awkward. Hi, I'm Chris. I don't know what to say. Yeah, Brian is the best host. I've been able to have access to ride a quad around here at my leisure. He gave me a great campsite. He took us, on a hike. So really, the off-grid backcountry tours are starting up in 24. And
yeah, I wanted to show y'all real quick something that I found that I thought was really cool, and this was found in 2 separate areas. This is what would be considered a finger cutting tool. And the reason why I say that is that they would hold it like this. So it's like basically poop, 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 like a little knife. And if you feel that, you feel it on the edge, it's super sharp.
Oh, geez.
And
you
then it,
clean a fish with that.
Yeah, and then it has a hook in it right here, like a little thing. So if you're going through like meat or whatever and see this little hook right here, this can catch and rip it and cut through things. So there's that. But what's interesting is I found something that mirrors it, and it's about a third of the size.
Yep.
It's the same type of cutting tool. If you look at that, you look at it like sitting down like that. Like those are the same type of cutting tools. So I don't know what these are for. I've seen these around a bunch, but it's basically like a little tiny version
for smaller fish.
Yeah, of this. See how that works? That's crazy. And then this was the first arrowhead that I found on my property. So that's kind of like your classic arrowhead, you know. And I was doing that. I was just walking around with Sierra looking down, and I found that. This was the arrowhead that I found in the lower rock area. And it doesn't look very much like an arrowhead until you turn around and you see all the serration right there.
You can see them right there,
Yeah, and you can see the serration on this side too, all the flint mapping. And if you run your fingers across it like this, it's literally like a serrated knife. You can feel it.
They just didn't make much of a point to it.
The point's not there, but it actually is pointy, but it's not. It doesn't look like, and it could be that it wasn't quite done yet. And then here's one of the last ones I found. I think this one's really cool, and I think it was a mistake because on this side it was really sharp, and then once again over here it's flat. So I think when they were flint mapping it on this side, they just messed up because it's a flat edge on here, and this side is a knife edge. What I think they would do is they would take a reed with this one, split it, put it around there, and then wrap it, and then you have your point. And then
that makes sense.
So that's how that looks. And I've got a bunch more too of just like cool rocks that I've found around the property and stuff like that. But it's kind of fun because, you know, we were talking earlier, and I thought, you know, the cool thing about being in Colorado when I was there is everything feels fresh and new because it's where the water starts, and there's always new growth every spring, and it feels like vibrant and kind of alive and everything. And then you come out here and it feels ancient, you know, because of all the history with all these Native American folks and stuff like that. And it's just awesome. It makes my imagination run wild. So let's see, Campgrower 1. I have a collection of different arrowheads and stones my dad labeled. I just say, oh, that'd be cool. I'd love to check it out. So Marla F, yeah, this is really cool stuff. I love all these things. Let's see, Trail Medic. Congratulations, Chris and Jeremy. Yeah, dude. Congrats, brother. Yeah. Chris did Mount Elbert in Colorado. It's the highest peak. He and his buddy Jeremy crushed that. What was that? What's today? Monday. So that was Saturday?
Yeah.
Saturday.
15 hours of hiking.
Oh, yeah. That's a long trail.
Yeah, it was rough. I felt like a zombie on the way back.
No, I'll bet. I'm surprised you were able to drive all the way out here.
Me too.
But South Beach Wrestling. What's up, man? Thanks for tuning in. Let me grab a few more rocks and I'll show you all what we've got.
Hi, I'm Chris again. It's funny. I never have trouble with my own videos.
Yeah.
Saying anything. I just don't know.
So these are kind of bigger ones. This is kind of cool. This one's out of a lava rock.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and then look at that one, dude. That one's wicked. So this is a smaller one right here.
It's light.
Very small. And then the attachment point would be at the bottom. And then looking on the back side, this is the flat side of the rock here. So if you see, the flint mapping is on the front. Okay. This one, I had to look at this one for a while, but then I realized it is an arrowhead. And the way that you would put it, you would probably attach it on right there. But on both sides here, if you run your fingers down this, it is really, 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 really sharp. And that was found in the next to the hunting blind down on the lower part of the property. And then I found this one down there too. Now I'm not 100% sure about this one. It looks like it's been, like a little satchel, right, or a little saddle right here to mount it. Both sides are very sharp, and it does look like there's flint mapping on the back right here because these have been chipped off. You can see that there's rock exposed that is not as weathered as the rest of it, and that's all those are chipped right there. So that would be the saddle that they would put that in. So
here, you want to take this between breaths?
Yeah, no kidding. I know. I get going, man.
I specifically brought that for that joke.
I can talk a million miles a minute. I'm sure y'all know that to my stuff here. So is Chris single? Chris, are you single?
I don't know.
Yeah, you're like, I got so many ladies hitting me
Oh,
up.
hey, Danya.
Oh, Nat and Marissa said y'all are friends. That's cool. Makes us
Yeah.
go, yeah, Danya and Nat.
She was here
Yep,
before.
Yep. Yeah, Danya always swings by, and like when she's rolling to Colorado, she'll stop up here to camp and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I know who you are, Danya. I watched you in Nat's videos.
Yeah. Yeah, Savage Wagon. It's exciting to find one partially exposed after the rain. I agree, because like, you know, a lot of that stuff is covered up, and I just wonder, like, what's an inch underneath the ground in all these areas that I go to that's covered up by soil? Because there was one time where I was down in Sedona, and I was on this rock cliff, which was not very safe to be on there. I was like 200 feet up in the air, and I was trying to traverse up to this one ruin, and I couldn't figure out how to get up there. So I was like, well, I'm going to turn around. And when I pivoted with my foot, I turned, and a piece of obsidian about this big was underneath there, and it was razor thin. And you could see all the flint mapping on it. I'm like, that was just, you know, half inch underneath the ground.
Can you metal detect here?
Yeah. And so I want to do it on my property because of all the ranch relics.
Right.
I'll show you. I haven't shown you yet, but I have trees where the old wire was here for the old ranch, and it's grown into the junipers because it's all grown around it and stuff. And like all the relics that I have on my fence that I built over there, like all the wire stuff, that's all from the property that I found. Dude. So the ranching that was going on here started in like the 1870s. That Double O Ranch, which had this, they got started in like 1865.
I wonder if you would find any coins or anything of that nature, like old coins.
Well, and then there was a guy down the road who got a Winchester rifle that was up against one of his trees, and he took it in. It was valued at $250,000.
What?
Yeah, it was an old Winchester rifle that somebody put up against a tree and forgot about it. You know, because I've got tools sitting around my ranch here, because I'll like go and work on stuff, and I'll leave something. I'll be like, where the hell did I leave that? I'm like, it's around 14 acres. I'll never find it.
It's
you know,
South
so Mike, look for gold. That's actually, you know, something I want to do too. So the Ferrari challenge thing, that's hilarious. So got to go trail medic. All right, brother.
See you, man. Have fun, you guys.
Cool, man. Bill and I have been exploring. I would imagine you probably can. I mean, there's like no codes against any of that stuff, and there's no one out here checking.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you can kind of do whatever you want, which is cool. So, all right, trail medic, you have a good one, man. Hope you guys find some good stuff up there. So, why don't we go outside and we'll do a little walk around and go check out the garden. The ferns are coming along really well, so let's go check those out. Yeah. And I want to show you all some stuff here. So let's come over here. Great gummies. All right. Weather's been awesome. It's about 70 degrees right now. Last night, was it chilly over your camp last night?
It was nice. Like 50 something.
Yeah, it was nice. So it was all looking pretty good. The ferns are coming in really well, so we'll go over and check them first. So here is
a fine fern.
Yeah, why don't we? That's fine. We can just do it like that. We're not doing it. I've got 2 different barriers on here because the deer are hammering my neighbor's ferns, and so we want to make sure that we don't do that. So we've got 3 growing here. That's what we've got. Darn, did I break that? Darn, I did.
You scratch it?
Oh, no, it looks broken, doesn't it? Oh no! I just got that computer. Dang it! And then there's some more ferns. So looking at it.
Wait, put it down there again.
So doing that, and then the sweet potatoes are actually doing really well, and so I've got the sweet potatoes right here, and they're real healthy, coming in looking real good. I've got 4 sweet potato plants, so that's roughly anywhere from 15 to 20 sweet potatoes when they're mature. These will be ready November 9th. And then unfortunately my sweet red bell pepper plant is starting to fade again. I'm thinking that, let me show you the calcium. I don't know if the calcium's off or what, but they're starting to fade again. So I don't know if this is the right soil for this. I need to test this soil again and see what's going on. The pH balance could definitely be off. I've got plenty of egg shells in here for the calcium. We put in the nitrogen, put in some really good topsoil, and it's just not doing very good. So I don't think I'll be able to harvest those this year because it's not doing well. They're obviously dying on me. And then the strawberries are in their pause phase right now. We'll have a second round of strawberries coming up here pretty soon. Cool. Thanks, brother. Let me show you how we're looking over here. I redid the strawberry cover because I wanted to have it to where it's more easily removable. So did that. And then let's see, kind of the only plant that's really producing strawberries right now is this one. And it's got a few going, but it's nothing major. And right now, like I said, it's just kind of regerminating at the moment, and then we'll have the second round of strawberries come in. So it's going good. Everything's good out here. I did clear all this area back in here for more stuff, and we'll be set with that. But other than that, everything out here is going good. Yeah. I mean, Chris has been impressed with the amount of solitude out here.
It's deafening silence.
Yeah, and that's what I love about this area the most. And I'd love it if more people. The one thing about this area, to back up real quick, why don't we go back inside? It's nice and cool in there. One thing about this area is that it is it's not a place where you can come out and work necessarily, because there's not a lot of jobs out here. What's up, girl? There's not a lot of jobs out here, so you have to either be able to work online, to where you can make money, or you got to bring your money with you. But if you can afford that, this is a great area to live, because there's just not a lot of people out here if you want the solitude and all that stuff. And so it also keeps the prices of the land much more affordable. Because, a place like this in Colorado would be much more expensive than what I pay for it. But I only paid $20,000 for 14 acres out here.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, my property tax is that's not even $200 a year.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's like $192. And then my property association dues, which we do all of our own roads out here. We take care of all of them ourselves. The county doesn't come out this far, so we don't have any county services out here, but we do have to pay county property tax, which is bullshit. But the property association dues for me to access my well and to maintain our roads is only $91 a year.
That's it?
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't know that.
That's why I'm trying to recruit all my friends to come out here. I'm like, we can live on the cheap, and have like a forest all to ourselves. Because I'm on the north side of Prescott National Forest, and no one comes up here. There's no population center up here. Like, the nearest town has 400 people, and they all stay in town.
I can attest that if there wasn't a zombie apocalypse, that they would get too tired before they reached Brian.
Yeah, they're like, he's too far out. We'll we'll run out of food before we get there.
Yeah, we'll get somebody in the city.
Yeah, so it's really great that it's like that. And then for those of us who have kind of had too much of the world, which seems like all of us are in that spot these days. Having an area like this where you can come out and chill out, and it's like, sunny all day. There's no noise. There's deer running around. There's wildlife. There's Native American artifacts everywhere. It's a nice reprieve from a world that's gone nuts. And so, let's see, the electroculture for your pepper plant. It makes their okay. Hey, James McDaniel, I'll try that out. So
I never heard of that.
Yeah, I'll check it out there, James, and see if that works. See. November 9th, how'd you come up with that date? Let's see, who was asking for November 9th? What that means.
I don't know.
Oh, Cool Trucking's here. What's up, Dave? How you doing, bud? Let's see, Savage Wagon will work is for others, says Theovine. Yeah, I would agree with that. So, cool, Kevin, you'll be out in the spring. That's awesome. That's where I'm looking, Prescott area. Camp Gar 1, right on. Yeah, Prescott area is really nice. North of Prescott up too by Paulden. Like, there's a little town called Paulden. Directly to the west of there's like this little pocket of mountains that are awesome, and it's like these rolling hills, but it's like anywhere from 5,800 feet to like 6,400 feet. It just goes like this, and it's like if you can get a 40-acre parcel out there with all the hilly terrain, you never see a neighbor, you don't even hear them, and you kind of think you're in the middle of nowhere. And what I recommend is that if you're looking for a place in Arizona, get out and drive and go see it for yourself, because the pictures won't ever do it justice.
That is true.
Yeah, and you can't get a feel of the terrain. And then if you do find a parcel of land, ask to camp there for like a night or two so you can see if there's noise. Because there might be, when people get off work, there might be a bunch of noise, or there might be people that party all night long or something like that. You don't want to live next to that.
Yeah.
So always ask to camp the property and say, hey, I want to stay a day or two, and then I'll make my decision, and they'll let you. When I was out here doing it, I asked every property that I was looking at, can I camp a night or two? Yeah, no problem. No one's out here. So, all right, let's see here. Brooke, maybe I'll get to see my coffee wife. Mike Klein, you never seen ferns like that? Yeah, they're a special type of fern. Mia Voss is here. It's my friend from Denver. What's up, Mia? Can't wait to visit. Yeah, come out whenever. It's so awesome out here. We'll go check out all the ruins. We'll go into Prescott. There's a neat area downtown. It's called Whiskey Row. It's all the old whiskey bars from the 1800s. And it's all on the historic register. It's really cool. And there's so much stuff around here. It's just wide open terrain, because we were talking about Colorado, and I love Colorado, and I enjoyed all my time there. But I just went there to pick up a truck, and I was driving through the mountain areas. I'm like, man, there were so much more people than just even 2 years ago.
Yeah, and I just came from there, and I can attest that there's so many more people.
We have full attention here. What you doing, Sierra?
Sweetie.
Are you going over there and sitting down? Sweet girl. She's still doing pretty good. I got to get her anti-inflammatory medicine, so we're going to be heading up to Flagstaff tomorrow to grab that after Chris rolls out. And then I don't have her on pain pills anymore because I think it just made her too lethargic. But Chris can attest to when you showed up last night at almost midnight.
She almost jumped in my lap.
Yeah, she was jumping all over the place and still really excited. So she still has got, all the desire to be active. But, our walks are definitely much shorter than in the past.
You could see her tiring out at the end of them.
Yeah, she fades real fast. So, we'll go out for short walks here and there, and she's down to do it. Appetite's real good, and, she just continues to plug along. So, all right, cool. Mia, you said you're in. All right, sounds good. And I'll be here until probably Christmas. The fall time's great. Springtime's awesome too. And then we'll also go over to Sedona because there's some kick-ass stuff in Sedona. I'll show you the sites I've been working on over there. There's some really great stuff in Sedona.
Now, what's the latest on your property in Colorado?
So I sued the realtor and got my money back.
So you don't have any more property?
Well, he hasn't paid me in full yet until he gets done paying me because I gave him terms because he didn't have all the money to pay me back.
Right.
So just to let y'all know, that property that I got in the San Juan Mountains, what happened was I was working with the realtor who was out of town. And he was like, well, I can't get up there for another 3 or 4 weeks. I was like, well, I'm going to be gone by then, so I got to go back to Arizona. So I thought, well, I'll just shoot a video and ask him if this is the property. So I did. I said, hey, is this the property? Yeah, that's the one. Well, it wasn't the one. It was the one above it. But it looked similar. But he was telling me oh, yeah, the deck that's on there, you're welcome to have that. The owner doesn't want it. And I'm thinking, really? He doesn't want this deck that looks new? And he's like, no, it's all yours. And then I asked at closing when the owner was there, I was like, hey, is that deck okay? And he's like, yeah, it's fine. I'm thinking, okay, if that wasn't his, why is he saying yeah? Because the other property didn't have it. So I got up there and I realized there's a mudslide vein that goes to this property. You can't build on it. And there's no way in hell I would have ever bought the property had it been that. And so I told him, I went to his office. I go, dude, you screwed me on this. You told me that it was the one. Oh, well, that one's fine. That'll be good for you. You can work it out. I said, I don't think you understand how this works. I'll give you a month and then I'm going to sue your ass. He said, oh, okay. Well, a month came and went and he just totally blew me off. So I got a lawyer and got that involved and told him hey, if you want us to file a complaint with the realtor board and get a really expensive DORA case going against you, let's get it going. And so once he realized that I meant business and that I was going to turn him in for an ethics violation, which is very expensive for a realtor, he got with the program and said, okay, I'll either buy the property outright or I can sell it for Brian. It's whatever he prefers. I was like, well, you need to buy it from me then because I'm not going to put up with this crap. Another thing, too, is the town that I was in. It's called Jasper, Colorado. Look it up. There's a lot of dickhead people in that town. The fact of the matter is there's some old school people that have lived there for a long time who don't want anybody new coming in. There's this guy that's been there for a real long time who I walked by him on the road probably 4 or 5 times. Now, keep in mind, he's no further than me and Chris away. Hey, man, what's up? He just stares at me and walks away. So second time, hey, man, good morning. How you doing? He just stares at me. Third time, hi. He just stares at me. Fourth time, I go, what the fuck's your problem? Because I was tired of it. Because I don't care for people that do that. I have a bit of an attitude when it comes to that. You don't intentionally be rude to someone the first time you see them.
Right.
And I told him too, I go, if you don't want anybody moving around here, then bust your ass and buy the rest of the property. But if you can't afford it, that's on you. You can't afford the whole town to buy it up here, so fuck off. Pardon my language. Just makes me very angry.
This has been another Brian rant.
Yeah, and so I just don't care for, unfortunately the real estate transactions in the mountain communities. My friend Katie, who's a lawyer, she's like, I see this happen all the time with realtors really trying to take advantage of people and misrepresent properties and all that stuff from the area. Yeah. And she's like, that happens so much. And so in Jasper, unfortunately, I don't know what the deal is with the people that own there, but they don't want anybody else new coming in, and they're very, very rude to anybody else that new. And there's a guy who invited me up to his house, and I thought, cool. He told the friends that I knew in town, he's like, hey, I'd like to have Brian up. I'd love to meet him, and I think it'd be great to say hello. So I was like, cool. And my friends were like, yeah, this guy is a really nice guy. You should go up there and meet him. So I was like, cool. So I rolled up there. I was like, hey, man, how's it going? He's like, well, no one around here likes you. You're putting all of our stuff on YouTube. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, 250,000 people know exactly where we're at now. I said, there's no mention of it on my channel because I put a video up talking about hey, this is the new off-grid community I'm going to be in. There were people that threatened to sue me because I walked down the road and their homes happen to be on the side of the road.
They can't do that.
I'm like, and I told him, I'm like, knock yourself out, come after me if you want. And I was like, I go, if you want, I'll just put camping GPS pins on all of people's front yards that were rude to me and say, hey, this is an open dispersed campsite.
Yeah, they can't do that.
But after I did that, I realized I'm like, unfortunately, with being on YouTube, you get these people that make assumptions about you, and they thought that I was there to blow up the community. They have no idea that I'm not. I'm very, very quaint about saying where I'm at. I never talk about it in videos or anything like that. But I can just tell you, Jasper, Colorado is not the place that you want to be with people treating you like that. And I love it up there because my uncle had bought up there. I thought, cool, we're going to get a little family area going and all that stuff. And I was treated so poorly in that town. I mean, I'll go through and see my friends, but I'm not going to spend 1 second in there with those people, period.
Yeah.
And so, there's some other land in the area that's outside of town, which would be great. But come to find out, it was just the good old boys club there and the homeowners association they had in town. It was like they could do whatever they want, but they'd make sure other people couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you can't have manufactured home. With the president of the HOA, he had a manufactured home on his property. So stuff like that. So yeah, me out butthurt mofos. That's what it was. It was just people that, it's weird. I don't know what's wrong with people and thinking got here and you can't come. Well, everybody got there. Everybody was there. It was a first for everybody at one point. I mean, like, unless you were born on that tract of land, which nobody was, I just don't understand that mindset. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, if the area is up for sale and you don't want any neighbors next to you, then go buy an area that has 40 acres. Don't buy a half acre.
Well, that's what they call not in my backyard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when they go to want to put like a solar farm or a wind farm.
Yeah, they want it, but not in their
backyard.
Yeah, not in their area. So I just realized, I was like, you know what? I don't want that. And unfortunately, I don't know what is wrong with the Colorado mountain towns, but there's so much conflict in the Colorado mountain towns amongst the locals. See, that's her lung cancer. And she coughs like that. Yeah. But there's so much conflict amongst the locals because there's only so much money to go around among the local economy, and everybody's trying to get the biggest piece of pie out of it. And I have never in my life been in communities that backstab people more than the mountain communities in Colorado. Yeah. And it's horrible. Yeah, it's really bad. It's like this weird facade because you go there and you think, man, I bet these people have the best lives, but then you get immersed in the culture of the town politics and everything, and it's just small town America, and it's just everybody's at each other's throat. Then I come out here to where I'm at in Arizona, and it's like, you met my neighbor, I came over.
Yeah, he was cool.
Goofy guys. Oh,
he was really cool.
I'm just driving all my 4-wheel drive trucks today because he's got like 4 of them on his property. He's like, oh, I'm just driving around, just having fun. Like, that's what he does every day.
Yeah.
Like those are the interactions I have, not these jerk interactions in Colorado.
Arizona.
Yeah, Northern Arizona is awesome. And there's no one, and there's the property taxes are cheap. There's water. If like where I'm at, I have a community well, and that water, I'll show you. I pulled it up online. It's tested out as some of the safest drinking water and cleanest water in America because our aquifers are 1,000 feet deep.
Oh, wow.
The ones that are 500 feet deep are not clean. The ones that, if you drill down to the 1,000-foot ones, which that's about a $60,000 expense. So if you can find land out here, like I found my land for 20 grand, but the community well is only 10-minute drive away, I can go get my water for $92 a year, being access that, for my POA dues. And that's the way to do it. And you can do it on the cheap. My whole place out here with the 4-wheelers and also, air conditioner, batteries and all that stuff, I'm still under $50,000 for this entire place. I've got 14 acres off grid. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I back up to 640 acres of public land.
It's crazy.
There's no one around. Like Chris has seen it. We walked up the way at the road here. I was like, yeah, there's like 4 40-acre parcels before my next neighbor. And then my neighbors across the street here, they never come in town. My buddy Darren is the closest one. And I measured it when I drove over there. He's 0.4 miles away from me. So it's like, there's no one around. Like, you can run around all day doing whatever you want.
He's a cool dude. So even if he was closer, that's okay.
Yeah. So, and what's nice about it too, is everybody out here is pretty self-sufficient, and we're far enough away from any cities to where we kind of are on our own, so like we all lean on each other and everything. Let's see. Did you guys lose the audio? Refresh for the audio glitch. Oh, so if you refresh the browser, it should work. Brian, Dad and I have 20 acres and a cabin 11 miles. Oh, cool.
Sweet.
Right on, James. We'll have to get together, man. If you wouldn't mind, if on my website, I've got a way that on my contact page, if you email me from there, I'd love to get together. Yeah, I'm familiar with SVR. I actually go through there on my way to my place. So, let's talk to all politics, Brian. They're left wing. So we'll do, pal. Cool, awesome, cool, James. I look forward to meeting you, man. There's another person that messaged me through Facebook, and he actually has a place along this road, along the main road. Come in here. He's like, "How do you get to your place?" I'm like, "I take this road, this road, this road." He's like, Wait a minute, that's what I do.
Dude, you're like gonna have a whole community built up.
Well, that's what I'd like to do because Doug, one of my friends who I met through Patreon, he bought 40 acres just here after our meetup.
Really?
Just right down the road, yeah, right there where it turns into Prescott National Forest. He's one parcel away from the forest. Like he backs up to a badass area. So
man, you're gonna have
we have a Jack Russell named Sadie. Oh, that's cool. See, it's a cool truck. And I own Northern Nevada. Nice, dude. Northern Nevada is awesome. And once you buy a Northern AZ, we'll be out this winter. Cool. When you do that, Dave, hit me up. Hey, Chris, have you told Brian all the cool places?
Yeah.
You're just like, Indiana doesn't have anything.
They have nothing.
Like, I found it all.
Yeah.
So
we have nothing in Indiana.
But I do want to say that I would like to be a resource for those that are serious about, wanting to go off grid in Northern Arizona. Because all I do is spend all my time driving around this area. So anything west of Flagstaff, I've driven around to see what's available, and I've got a pretty good pulse on what's around. So if you have any, find me somewhere. Okay, yeah, Kevin, no problem. I have some in mind. There's some really good ones around. There's some stuff that's for sale by owner too around here, which is not on Realtor.com. So I'll put some of those together and let you know. But I would love to have it to where, I could help people, because I now that I've been up here for a while, I kind of know what to look for. And you got to make sure you have a community well within the place you're looking at. You can drill your own well, that'd be nice to have too, but it's a big expense. And so if you want to do it economically, you get into a place that has a community well, and then you have your water taken care of.
I was thinking about, what you could do?
So
you can invite people to volunteer to come out here and help you work the land for a bit in exchange for some camping or whatever. I'm looking at myself, but
I'll be the first one out.
Right. I'm thinking like you could have work teams out here getting stuff done faster that way.
Yeah, I could. I've thought about that.
You have to vet everybody.
Yeah, and then I also have to carry insurance. That's
True.
the only thing is because I have to do insurance for the meetups out here too. So I carry a $5 rider policy.
Yeah.
So, but let's see. Somebody was asking a question up here. So let's see. Somewhere back up for those parting gifts. You know, take me to that one. What's there? I don't know what that means. So far, being back on the J because of the lax. Sellers, I don't know what that means.
I think Carlson would bring a hammer or something if he owns any, but he would probably do some work.
Let's see. Mike Klein was asking, no Burning Man weather there? No Burning Man weather. We actually we did get some pretty good rain. What was it? Saturday, because you were on Elbert and we were getting clobbered.
Right.
Yeah, we got rain all day, and also too. That's how, like, I don't know if you saw my last video, Mike, but there was a storm that came through, and I had just put those rock check dams up on my property, and I got like 4 inches of additional sediment in the areas where those rock check dams were holding the water back. So it's already starting to work down there, because I want to create that lower meadow into like a wetland area.
That'll be cool.
So he says hammer and nails. We got Hector tuned in from Texas. Alaska has changed massively. I wonder how Alaska has changed. I wonder what you mean by that, Ridge Runner. Are you speaking like in terms of like off-grid living or what? Let's see. How common are community wells? Asked Jackson. They're pretty common. Most of the bigger communities have them, but you want to double check and see kind of like what the well setup is. I was fortunate here that I didn't really know what the realtor was talking about. He was like, hey, the well's awesome. And I took his word for it, and he was right. So I'm happy. Other people say the other well in the other part of this community, not in my community, but the one next door is awesome. But the bad thing about that is you have to take your own generator over there. It has to be a 12,000 watt generator, which is huge.
Oh, wow.
So it's
just to get the water
to get the water out, because their generator broke and they haven't fixed it. And so stuff like that, is kind of lame. So when you're going in there, ask to say, hey, can I see the community well? Like, can you show me where it's at? And somebody tagged our community well and put it on Google Maps. But then we went back in and said it was closed, and so people can't show up. So, because like people will come over and try to sneak the water, but what they do in mine is you have a push button code, and everybody has the same code. They don't track your water out here, but the public wells do track your water usage. You have to sign up for an account and put all your stuff through Yavapai County or Cochise County or Mojave County, wherever you're at, and so stay away from those public wells because they're monitoring water usage and they're tracking that stuff. And I don't think that the government needs to track of that. So just get into an area where you have a community well. Typically, like out here, what they say is our wells produce so well out here. Our wells produce so well. Our wells are produce so much water out here that you're allotted, I think it's 4,000 gallons of water a month.
Wow.
And I only use
You'll never use it.
I only use about 200 gallons of water a month. That includes my hot tub. So let's see here. What else have we got? See, Arizona native here. I was born in Mesa. Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize you were born down in Mesa there. Mesa's grown a lot. So let's see, Ridgewater. Oh, the quality of people. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, it just seems like when COVID happened, a lot of demographics shifted around the country. A lot of people are moving and stuff like that. And so I think a lot of places are going through that influx of different value sets being brought into the area. That can cause a lot of friction, because like here in Western Arizona, we're the first big rise in elevation that you hit when you come out of California. So when COVID hit, we had a lot of California folks just naturally, just due to the geography, coming through here and checking stuff out. And we just tell them like, look, you're welcome here, but don't look here coming to change stuff.
Crap with you.
Yeah. Just like, if you're leaving that place for a reason, like leave those reasons there, don't bring them out here because we don't want that. So let's see, cool truck. Yeah, there's water delivery services, and it's actually pretty cheap. That my buddy Darren, he used to do water catchment, but it's such a pain in the ass with water catchment because you've got dust getting into your water container all the time. You have animals that try to get in there all the time, and my friends tell me like no matter how much wiring you put around that, those squirrels and stuff find their way in. Then it spoils your water. And they've told me the water quality degrades really quick unless you're totally maintaining those things like 24/7, and it's a big upkeep. So he does water delivery now, and I think it's 2,000 gallons for $180.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and so the guys drive out the machines, and so he does like 3 deliveries and gets 6,000 gallons for the year. So he's ready to go there. So Brian's Native American tours like doing that keeps off road.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, there's your branding. There's
Yeah.
your branding.
You know how I am though, man. It's like I like to talk to people online, but I don't really like people in person.
Yeah, if you
I'm weird.
Stay virtual,
Yeah,
that'd be great.
yeah, exactly. I'm sorry, I'm just weird. So, all right, let's see what else we got. How's Sierra? Oh, hey, from South Carolina. Matt, she's doing good. Sierra, what you got, sweetie? You want some milk? Let me get you some more treats. Oh, you were sleeping over there. You got some stuff in your eyes.
She's like, yeah, I'm doing great. Let me sleep.
Yeah, she's like, leave me alone. We've been on adventures all day. Let me grab her some water real quick. I'm actually going to grab her. I got the water right here.
Sierra.
And then we'll get you milk too, sweetie. Okay? Hang on. I'm going to feed her some hamburger tonight.
She's just like, yeah, I'm groggy. What's going on?
Yeah. The tumors are still growing, unfortunately. The tumor in her rear has started to protrude out quite a bit, and then her cough has gotten a little bit worse over the past few weeks, but I'm still giving her the fembenzidol for the cancer treatment that I've been doing ever since she got diagnosed, and then also the CBD. And so I'm hoping that we can keep the cancer kind of somewhat in check. It does seem like she's a lot more comfortable these because the fembenzidol that I was using, I don't know if I've shown you what I switched over to. Is that what you have, or do you have the liquid form?
I have the.
Okay, so for those of you that have pets, I don't know if you've seen, but within about the past year and a half, there have been a lot of studies done on animals that have cancer, and primarily dogs, cats, and horses. And what they found is that there's this. It's a horse dewormer. It's called Panicur or fembenzidol. And for whatever reason, this coupled with a fatty oil like fish oils or CBD or even olive oil helps the absorption rate for dogs with cancer and cats and horses. And the only cancer that it doesn't show any effect on is liver cancer. And I think the reason why is because they can't process it, right? Because the liver is compromised. But Sierra's doctor in Flagstaff is like, I have no idea how she's still here and doing so excellent. She's like, we're going to write a paper on this. And she goes, all of my customer or patients, with the dogs that have cancer, they're asking, what can we do that's like an alternative treatment that's not going to be, chemo, because they want $1,100 a month for chemo. And they told me, they said, well, she might have about 6 months left. Well, that was in 2021. Here it is, 2023. All I've done is this. I have a really high grade CBD, which is called CBD Heal, and it's designed for dogs with terminal illnesses or like Cushing's disease, and it's CBD Dog Health. So it's called CBD Heal. This is about $100 for this little thing. And then also the Vital Pet Lipids. I use that, and then I have a blend of nutraceuticals, but I just ran out, so I got to order more. And that's what I've been doing for ever since. And that's the only thing we've done. I mean, we did the surgery to remove the tumor, hoping that we get it all, but then we realized that it had spread to her lymph nodes. And they said, you have 6 months, and about 3 of them are going to be bad, and you might be able to get a year. Well, here it is, 2 years. It's been 2 years and a month now, because she was diagnosed the first part of August. And here she is looking at me. She knows I'm talking about it. Yeah. She's just staring at me. What you thinking about it, baby girl? Oh, you're so pretty. But so my doctor, her doctor in Flagstaff is like, whatever you're doing is amazing. I've never seen a dog last this long with the type of cancer she has. And, you know, you guys, we have to let other people know about it. So if anybody has any, pets that are going through cancer, please message me and I'll send you the stuff. Let's see, did you change your ad? No, Great Adventures. I've always had it on human grade food. This is what I use right here. It's a dehydrated food, which is great for when we're traveling, because this will make about, I don't know, a month's worth of food. And it's amazing. It comes in this powder form, and it's human grade food. Oh, wow. And it's, you want to have everything grain free, because the grains feed the cancer. But like this little powder in here, when you add water to it, it turns into like big old sweet potatoes and like, vegetables and all that stuff.
Like so rehydrating.
Yeah. So if you look at the front here, it's got three pounds of free range chicken, 1.5 sweet potatoes, 3 handfuls of green beans, 1.5 potatoes, 1/8 small pumpkin, a half a banana, half a bunch of celery, 1 1/4 quart apples. And yeah, so what you do is you,
it's crazy.
Yeah, my mom's calling right now. I bet she's watching the live stream like, hey, I can't hear you or something. But
hi, Mom.
But so I use that when I'm on the road, because you can transport a lot of food in a little amount. And then when we're here in Prescott, there's a place called Paws and Claws, and they actually sell raw food like OC raw dog and stuff like that. And so I'll get rabbit meat for her, which is really good, and she loves that stuff. I feed her rabbit meat, and she's like up and at them and running around and just having a ball. So let's see. So good. That's awesome, Brian. You have 240. Oh, thank you, the GChem. I appreciate that. Gosh, that is a mixed opinion. My vet says grain free isn't good. Really? I've always heard the grain feeds the cancer.
Yeah, yeast is what feeds cancer.
Yeah. So, and then also you got to eliminate the sugars too. You can't have any sugar. So basically, the Panaker C in conjunction with like a fish oil or a CBD, the studies there now, and there have been multiple studies now that have shown this. It destabilizes the cancer walls and makes tumors shrink in size. And so with her tumors haven't shrunk in size yet, but I have noticed they become more soft. So
the internals are
the internals, and I've noticed too that she's more mobile over the past, like ever since I switched her from the granular to this, because the granular, I don't think she liked the way her food tastes. But with the Panaker C, I think that it's just the paste, and so I just squirt it in her mouth before she eats, and she swallows it, so she gets the full dose. And I have to think that it's given her some sort of relief, because she's running now. She didn't run before. She never ran.
Right.
And now she's running up and down the road and jumping up and down on people when she sees them. Before, she would just kind of a little bit jump up, but I could tell it was really bothering her. But now she's running around doing just fine. So let's see here. Oh yeah, Matt Hawkins. Kansas State did win this weekend. They did good. They played Southeast Missouri, so it's not quite the Big 12 level of competition, but it's still a good team, but it's not as good as the other teams we'll face. But they did really well. Defense played great. I think our coach has really got our team aligned to do well. So it'll be an exciting season for sure. So see, Camper One, is that good for you? Yeah. So they said that it's good for all of the tumors except for dogs or cats or horses with liver cancer. So Matt, oh yeah, Jordy Nelson, that dude was from Salina. I love the fact that he went back there and started farming again. So
link to the food.
Okay, Camper One. So I'll tell you what, if you want to chat with them real quick, what I'll do is I'll look this up.
There we go again. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Brian's audience.
Hi, I'm Brian's buddy.
I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll make a post about this, a community post, and then I'll post it up, and I'll include all of the different stuff, the different things that I've done for Sierra, and I'll also include links to the studies too that talk about it, because
they don't say it cures anything.
No, I can't say it cures anything, because another thing with YouTube now is you're not like the new protocols with all the new stuff coming in play, is we can't talk about medical stuff anymore, because if we do, we get our channels banned. Yeah. So this is just a suggestion that it may work, but I mean, look at Sierra's health and you tell me if you think it's working or not. So
She stares right at us.
yeah. That's cool. You'll be in Prescott on Friday for the Outback County Fair. It's got nice weather here, so it's really good stuff. But Camper One, if you want good food, Paws and Claws in Prescott, they've got a ton of great food for dogs there. It's all human grade food. Really good place. So that's a great place to check it out. So, you got a dog with pulmonary hypertension. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Nick's in the house, brother. How you doing, man? I just started my older dog on Panicker and got this French too. Nice. Good deal. Make sure to get like a good CBD too to go along with it, or like some fish oils, so that way the Panicker can absorb in, and then you'll be good to go. So Matt Hawk, it's so much. The journey is a blast. Like when I first hit the road, and Chris knows this, I was just gonna try to find a mountain community to live in. And after the first year, I'm like, I'm not getting off the road. This is a blast.
I'm having too much fun.
Yeah, I'd be like, there's no one out here. This is crazy. So it was really cool. So got some CBD. Okay, cool, Nick. Hey, if you need any other suggestions or anything, hit me up. And like I said, in the community page, I'll put a post about this afterwards, talking about the different supplements for Sierra. She's so funny. She's over here. Her eyes are like, oh, she's like trying to go to sleep and not really there. Stream is freezing up. Oh, okay. You know what? It could be that the connectivity here is kind of not doing the best. Let me refresh this and see if it pulls up. Okay, it pulls up now. All right. Hopefully that's better.
Yeah.
So, all right. Any questions for us? Just to give you back. Oh, actually, I want to talk about Chris real quick. So, yeah, with him hiking Elbert, just kind of talk about that. You've been on that for a couple of years.
So in 2017, a friend of mine and I went to hike up Mount Elbert, and it's the highest 14er in Colorado,
and a very long trail.
And they made it up, and I got to 13,300 because I was fall behind. Because don't know if you've noticed, got a little bit of a weight problem. So,
dude, you slowed down this year.
I have this year.
You did a great job.
So it's always been a regret that I didn't finish that, and that was back in 2017. So I made a plan for this year. I trained for it, and even though it hurt a lot, I was glad that I got it done. It's kind of a redemption hike. That's why I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Will I do another 14er? Hell no.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those.
I'm done.
Yeah,
I just wanted that one.
I've never been a mountain climber. Like, I know people that love it. I've never found. I get distracted on the way up. I'm like, well, there's a stream I can fish, or there's a lake that I can go hang out at, or whatever. So I did a few 14ers back in the day, but that was back when I was living in Denver. But I haven't done a 14er since. And I feel like it's kind of like a checkbox items for a lot of people. Like, they say, oh, well, this weekend I did this one, this one, and this one. It's like, okay, that's cool, but you don't have to do like epic stuff every weekend. Like,
no,
you can go and just chill out at a campfire and have a nice time. So,
it's not all about a competition like that. It's just like enjoying the outdoors.
Buffalo Buddha is over in Pine. That's a really great area. That's the same weather pattern that we have here. Okay, so you're at 5,400 feet. I'm at 5,800 feet, and the elevation ranges here for the property in this area are anywhere from about 5,400 up to about almost 7,000. So there's stuff up at like 6,700 feet. Just on a peak away from here, the views are sick.
Yeah,
I mean,
is that one over there?
Yeah, what we'll do is for the evening, we'll go over there because the 4x4 over there is awesome, and I want to show you some of the lookout points.
Okay,
like they look out over the entire Prescott National Forest. It's insane.
Cool. I'm gonna get some good drones.
So Buffalo Buddha, it's pretty nice out here. I mean, I love Pine and Strawberry; those are great areas. But I know what you mean. Like, they probably get hit a lot. Especially on the weekends, people coming up from the valley, and out here, Paulden, Ash Fork, Seligman. Ash Fork is actually getting a huge travel center put in their town, and they're stoked about that because their town's going to start growing. Seligman's starting to grow too, in the sense that more businesses are coming here and people are starting to come invest in the buildings, the historic buildings that have been vacant forever. So I really feel as though it would, these towns have good bones up here, but the economics of the area is going to keep it quaint. Like I was explaining to Chris that there's no jobs out here. So you either, work online, or if you have your own money, you just bring that obviously with you, and you'll be good to go. So,
Chris Farley reference.
That's awesome. A little bit of wood. RSO and ivermectin just said, yeah, overbus. That's true. I climb into my van and then I call me break. Kevin,
preach. I feel you.
Yeah, that's true. So okay, cool. I would speak to your vet with regards to giving your dog milk. Yeah, and actually, I have lactose-free milk. Just to give you all a heads up,
Thank you, Nick.
you want to make
Appreciate
sure
it.
to do that. So just because dogs can, not all dogs do it, but most of them can have like,
She wants more.
they get like they get like the farts and everything from it, and makes their stomach
She's like,
upset. Come here. Okay, we'll give you a little. We're almost done. We're almost out of there. We'll have to get you more tomorrow, sweetie. No more treats for tonight. But yeah, so you got to do lactose-free. But I like lactose-free too. It's easier to drink. Doesn't make your stomach feel as weird. So. All right, let's see, Chris. Oh, yeah, congrats, brother.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah. Oh, I did that like 15 years ago. Yeah, that's just such a long trail. That's the problem.
We started at 2:30 a.m. We didn't get to the top until noon.
Jeez.
So the first part of that was the hardest.
Yeah, and then coming down, it just hammers your knees the whole way down.
And they were doing trail maintenance, and they were building it off the section. So the section that they, the alternate section had all this loose scree and stuff.
Yeah.
And so my buddy Jeremy was like slipping in front of me, and I almost fell into him once.
Jeez.
Yeah, good stuff.
That's crazy. So, well, cool, everybody. I think we're gonna go ahead and log off now. We've done about an hour, so just wanted to kind of check in, see what's up. I want to say hello to everybody, and I'll probably have another video ready in another couple of days. So, Carlson Adventures, no more Tacoma. Well, I still have my Tacoma. I haven't sold it yet, so. We'll see. I've got to go through, and I've got an appointment. My buddy Tyler up in Flagstaff that runs the Toyota service department up there. He's going to go through the Tundra and see what all we need to do to it. I do think it has a few issues. I'm noticing a few things. So hopefully it's nothing too bad. I thought it was in a lot better shape, but we'll see what goes on. So, what's up, Alex? What's going on, man? How are things down in Tucson, brother? Hey, if you and your friends are cruising up here this fall, hit me up. There's some cool places to check out. I'll show you some cool stuff. So. Cool trucking. So Dave says, I used to truck on I-40. Oh, yeah. I've always wanted to live around Williams Ashford. Oh, yeah. Cool. Hey, dude, it's awesome up here. So if you come to the area, hit me up, man. We'll get together. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Go ahead and follow Chris's channel. He's going to have all that footage up in about a week of all the Native American stuff we checked out today.
Appreciate it.
Really, really cool petroglyphs and rock art and all that stuff. And we'll end with a shot of Sierra over here. What's up, girl? What are you doing? Are you a happy girl? Are you my little stinker? You want to go outside and go around? Come on, let's go.
Like, no.
She's like, no, that's not. She's like, I want more milk, bro.
I just had milk.
All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one. All right, we're good.